What it do? What it do? Hold up. Stop the music. Hold the presses. Hold up, y'all. There we go. What's good, y'all? What it do? What it do? It's your main man, Captain Soccer War, coming to y'all live on Toxic Masculinity. Impromptu live stream, man. I decided I wanted to go ahead and do tonight. Normally, the show goes live every Friday. You know what I'm saying? 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Normally run for about 90 minutes. You know what I'm saying? So we will be going live this Friday. But I wanted to come to y'all, man, Wednesday night, the middle of the week. Just wanted to pop in, man. There's a lot that's been going on social media pertaining to some of the topics that we cover in toxic masculinity. So I just wanted to go live, just be able to holler at the people, you know what I'm saying? Talk to the brothers out there concerning what's going on with your boy Derrick Jaxn and this other cat that keeps popping up on my radar, Kevin Samuels. Now, for those of you who may not be familiar with toxic masculinity, at the beginning of every show, there's a little disclaimer that I like to put out there. So we'll get into it now before I go ahead and dive into these topics. For the brothers and sisters, if you're tuning in on Facebook, tuning in on YouTube, I put the link out there for the Zoom. If anybody wants to hop in the Zoom, get live with me, you know what I'm saying? Y'all can come on and pop in. Tonight's show, like I said, is not like how we normally do it on Friday. I don't have a monologue prepared. Just wanted to talk to y'all about what I've been seeing going on social media and stress to the brothers the importance of keeping your ear to the streets and knowing about these subjects, knowing about these men who are out here teaching, because it can have an effect on your relationship. But let me go ahead with the disclaimer. You know what I'm saying? I am your host, Captain Soccer War. You are live on Toxic Masculinity. Understand Toxic Masculinity is a man show. It is a show designed to give men some tools that will equip and enable them to be more responsible and better suited to play their role as the man in their relationships. You understand? Um, we come from the perspective of a man should be the leader of a relationship. A man should be the one that dictates, you know what I'm saying, the flow and how things go. Everything in a relationship trickle downs from a man, whether we like it or not. And so what we plan to do is to help men to develop to be honest, calculated, honorable, and selfless when it comes to their dealings with women. If it can trickle down to women, we can enable us to once again have a community and eventually a society that is able to establish, maintain healthy, loyal, long-lasting, meaningful relationships. All right, so with that said, I want to stress that this is a man's show. Not to say there's nothing a woman will not or cannot gain from tuning in. But for the ladies out there, understand that everything that's expressed here and discussed on this platform will always be based in logic and truth. Yes, logic and truth, not emotions, not a feeling, not some desire or uncontrollable urge that cannot be explained, but logic and truth. Right now in this country, in this society, in the world at large, there is a war being waged against logic and truth. And it's a war that expands beyond political affiliation, racial demographics, gender identity, and social status. And for some of us, this war is blatant and obvious to see, but unfortunately, far too many are becoming casualties to their own ignorance. That is why this platform will be utilized to pull back the curtain, settle the dust, and clear up the fog so that it can be made apparent to all of us just precisely what we're battling against. Now, what does all of that mean? It means we're going to keep it all the way 1,000 here, raw, uncut, filtered but not watered down, straight with no chaser. If you can't take the heat, now's the time to get out of the kitchen. If you cannot swim, you are bound to drown. And never forget that while pressure bursts pipes, it's also what takes coal and turns it into diamonds. Now that we've gotten through that, man, let's go ahead and dive right into it. Now, for you brothers out there, this week is a cat named Derrick Jaxn who made the social media headlines because for a long, long time, this cat Derrick Jaxn, and this is for those of you who may not be familiar with him, for a long, long time, this cat named Derrick Jaxn has been parading himself on social media as a woman's help guru, as a man, you know, who helped women discover the problems with their relationships and get their, you know, situations together, and so that they can find the right man and find a man that'll do right by them and keep them happy. Well, this Derrick Jaxn this week, after all of the many years that he's been on social media, just really downing black men, trashing black men, telling black women how, if a man isn't, just basically establishing a level or a standard for black women that just really is not realistic in terms of what they can expect from their men. And this cat, this cat Derrick Jaxn, after many years of bashing black men and of lying to black women about what they should be looking for, what they should be expecting in a man, came out this week with the details about, not the details, but came this week with the revelation that he's been cheating on his wife. So all these years, this Derrick Jaxn cat has been, teaching the women and preaching to them about not settling and about not dealing with men who weren't on their level, and about not, what they shouldn't take and what they shouldn't allow. Come to find out that everything that Derrick Jaxn has been speaking against for years on social media is exactly what he is. He's just a man who, like a lot of men, weak, doesn't know how to be honest, afraid to be open with his woman, puts on the front like he's a good, wholesome Christian guy, but really, like most men, he doing his thing, getting whatever woman that come to him. You know what I'm saying? Got a lady at home, he telling her what she need to hear, and then he's got women on the side that he's dealing with, having affairs and whatever the case may be. For a lot of women, this Derrick Jaxn cat has been a beacon of hope that magical, monogamous, honest, trustworthy, only needing one woman man was out there somewhere. This cat Derrick Jaxn has been held up as the standard for a lot of women of what their man should be. And the reason why it's important for brothers to know who Derrick Jaxn is and to know what it is that Derrick Jaxn is teaching is because a lot of the women who you encounter think the way that Derrick Jaxn has taught them to think. The idea of what they have in their mind of a good, wholesome man is what Derrick Jaxn has planted into their mind. And so a lot of you brothers, you out here, you're meeting women and you're dating, and you don't know that the woman who you're trying to court, the woman who you are trying to get to be with you, is basing her idea of what a good man is from what this cat has told her. And when you as a man are ill-equipped to know what it is that is in a woman's mind when it comes to what a good man is, then you can be hustling backwards, so to speak. You can be behind the 8 ball. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of you brothers, a lot of us men are under the illusion that a lot of women are under, which is that a lot of these women out here, oh man, come on, are thinking for themselves. That a lot of these women out here are, know what it is that they want, know what it is that they're looking for, and they're leading themselves. When the reality, brothers, is a lot of these women have no clue what a good man is. A lot of these women have no idea what it is that they should be looking for or what it is that they should be expecting to find when they call themselves looking for a good man. And if you're a brother out there that doesn't know what it is that's in the mind of a woman that's searching for a man, then you won't know the many different ways in which women can be manipulative or can really play on you, because they're trying to get you to fit into some mold that if you knew what the idea they had in their mind was of a good man from the beginning, you would never even allow yourself to entertain playing the game that they're playing. You know what I'm saying? A lot of women, like I said, for a long time, a lot of women heralded this Derrick Jaxn cat as the standard of what a good man is supposed to be. And come to find out that Derrick Jaxn is just another liar, just another player, just another wannabe, you know what I'm saying, pimp who was out here having his cake and eating it too. And so for a lot of fellas, those of us who are in the know, those of us who, have been aware, this cat has been on our radar, seeing him fall and seeing him, crash down to earth for a lot of us was like, well, damn right. All you ladies that been following Derrick Jaxn, all you ladies that been listening to Derrick Jaxn, that's what you get. Derrick Jaxn is a man just like the rest of us. Derrick Jaxn is having his cake and is eating it too. You know what I'm saying? But what we as men have to do is we have to realize that glorifying in the failures of a brother like Derrick Jaxn doesn't make us look any better as men. You understand? We should not glorify in the fact that this cat was cheated on this woman. We shouldn't glorify in the fact that this man was unfaithful. We shouldn't glorify in him being exposed to be a liar, you understand, and a cheater, and a man who was, out here selling women dreams. Instead, we as men should take this as an opportunity to let women know that you cannot fall in love with the idea of a man just because of the words that he says out of his mouth. And the standard for what makes a man a good man should not be how well he speaks, should not be, how intriguing are the words of his conversation, but rather we should judge men based on their actions, based on what it is that they do. Now, brothers, a lot of women, they don't know how to judge a man based on his actions. You know what I'm saying? A lot of women don't know that they should judge a man based on his actions. They just listen to what he say. But men, seeing the fall of Derrick Jaxn, you should now go into your meeting with women and talking with women and let them know, listen, I'm not Derrick Jaxn. Don't judge me based on the things that I say. Rather, judge me based on my actions. Judge me based on the things that you see me do. If anything, what fellas should take from this Derrick Jaxn fiasco is that lying to women is the wrong way to go. Selling women a dream is a dishonorable way to live your life. And with the fall of Derrick Jaxn, a lot of women are now realizing that that portrait he painted of that perfect ideal man, of that guy who's not going to lie, who's going to love you and be all about you, that cat don't exist. That's just not the reality of men and any generation, especially not the one that we're in now. The reality with men nowadays is women, you're going to meet one or two kinds of guys. You're going to meet a man who is fully a man, who's not ashamed of who he is, who's not trying to hide from you, who's not trying to sell you a dream. He's going to be brutally honest with you. And that honesty may be, hey, I'm not going to be limited in how many women I'm going to be with. I mean, I met you, I like you, I'm getting to know you, and hey, maybe we can establish something and have a beautiful relationship. But I'm not going to sell you any dreams. I'm not going to promise you monogamy. And guess what, fellas? You go out here and you're honest with women and you show them who you are up front, you'll be surprised just how many women will accept you, just how many women will say, well, when I met him, he told me that he wasn't monogamous. When I met him, he told me that, he wanted to be with me, but there were no guarantees that I was going to be the only woman that he was dealing with. Now, in being honest with that, fellas, you're going to have to realize that there's this double standard. Because most of us men, those of us men who are confident enough in who we are, who are satisfied with what we desire, and we're able to articulate to a woman, listen, I like you, I want to build with you, you know what I mean, but I'm not going to promise you monogamy. Those kinds of men also don't want a woman who's going to be sharing herself with other men. Yeah, if I'm a good man and I know what I bring to the table is enough to secure a woman, is enough to make a woman happy, and I'm honest and I'm willing to deal with the rejection of me being honest and you not accepting it, well then guess what? If I know my value, my worth, I'm not going to share you with another man. If you want to have another man that you deal with sexually, then let him deal with you on every level. If you're happy being with me, happy with our conversation, happy with our dates, but you want to go have sex with another man, well then I'll take my conversation, I'll take my dates, I'll take everything I have to offer, and you can just go be with that other man. Now, for a lot of women, it's a double standard. For a lot of women, it's not fair. That's the truth. But what's also not fair is men lying. What's also not fair is us selling you a dream and presenting to you the fantasy of monogamy when it just doesn't exist. Derrick Jaxn is just another example of the reality that we're all dealing with. The good men that's out here, the men that have value, the men who can juggle multiple women, we're going to have multiple women. And we're not going to accept or desire to have a woman who wants to be with another man. You got you a man or you dealing with somebody, then I'll gracefully bow out. I don't want to have nothing to do with you. Fellas, what you'll realize is if you start being honest with women, if you start putting your real foot forward, then a lot of women will accept you for who you are. They'll accept you for what you bring to the table. A lot of women buy the dream of monogamy knowing it's a dream, knowing it's a lie. A lot of women know when, men are going to be men. A lot of women know that men are going to have their cake and eat it too. Well, if that's the reality that women have accepted in their minds, why won't you make it a reality? Why won't you just put it in their face and let them deal with it? Because either they're going to deal with it or they're not. You understand? What Derrick Jaxn did not have, what a lot of us men need to put inside of ourselves is integrity. It's honor. It's, being willing to be proud of who you are when you look in the mirror. And I don't know of any man who's truly proud of who he is when he looks in the mirror, when he has to lie to his woman every day, when he has to pretend and hide who he is. You understand? But with Derrick Jaxn being exposed, now, brothers, the door is open for you to fully express who you are to these ladies. Let them know, listen, man, I'm not Derrick Jaxn. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to sell you a dream. I am a good man. I am someone who you can build with. I am someone who you can be with, who you can plan the rest of your life with. At the same time, I'm not going to lie to you. Don't ask me questions you don't want to know answers to. Don't go looking and searching for things that you know that you really don't want to have to deal with. Or a lot of women may want you to lie to them. A lot of women may want you to, sell them the dream. If you're a man that chooses to play that game, then that's on you. But do it honorably. Do it, righteously. But don't do it like Derrick Jaxn. It's only so long that you can pretend. Derrick Jaxn pretended until the time ran out, and now he has been exposed for, the liar and the court jester that he is. But for a lot of you fellas, you don't even know who Derrick Jaxn is. You didn't even know why Derrick Jaxn was trending in social media. And the whole time you got a woman who's been listening to Derrick Jaxn and who's been measuring her happiness with you based on what Derrick Jaxn taught. You understand? Here's what we have to understand as men. And I've covered this in the show before. And the majority of women do not have a philosophy on life because they've never had to have one. The majority of women out here in the society, they get by because they're women. They get by because of their beauty. They get by because they're submissive. They get by because it's easier for them to just go along and get along. But in this world, as a man, it's not easy to just go along and get along. As a man, you can't just be swayed by everybody else's opinions or everybody else's thoughts. A lot of us as men, we've had to develop our own philosophy. We've had to develop our own culture and have something in life that drives us to, be the way that we are. A lot of women don't have that. They just go with the flow. And when it comes to relationships, when it comes to dating, when it comes to who they're attracted to, a lot of women, they're just regurgitating what someone else taught them. They're just going with the flow of what someone else said that sounds good to them. A lot of women listen to men like Derrick Jaxn. And a lot of women based a good man off of what Derrick Jaxn taught them. A lot of women got rid of their men because of Derrick Jaxn. There's a lot of women who were in relationships where they weren't happy all the time. They had their ups and their downs. But because of Derrick Jaxn, he pushed them over the edge and they left their man. A lot of women leave their men because of cheating, because their man has other women, because of a man like Derrick Jaxn. And think of all the women who left their men because of Derrick Jaxn, just to find out that the same thing he told them to leave their man for, him and his woman stayed together behind him. Think of how many relationships this cat ruined because he was filling women's minds up with BS. with this fantasy and this dream of monogamy when he himself in his own house getting paid off of the dream he's selling to these women wasn't even living it. God damn. Well, guess what, fellas? You got to know that a lot of these women, in their mind, is some other man's voice. What shaped their reality is some other man's perspective. And so guess what? When you meet a woman, you got one or two choices, man. You can go along and agree with her perspective and go along and agree with what she has in her mind a good man is, or you can do like other men have done and you can transform her thinking. You can change her perspective. You understand? You can now show her, listen, I know Derrick Jaxn was saying this and that about a good man, but he don't know what the hell he's talking about. I know you heard Steve Harvey say to act like a man, act like a woman, think like a man, but here's why that results in you not having a man. You got to be able to combat these women thinking by being able to override the programming that some other man is put into their mind. But a lot of you cats, you meet women and you respect the way they think. You respect how they look at men the way Derrick Jaxn taught them to look at men. You respect that these women want a man that's on the level that Derrick Jaxn said they're supposed to be on, which is why you feel like you never measure up. Which is why you feel like you never could level up to what the woman is expecting because you're trying to reach the expectations of Derrick Jaxn. Why the hell would you as a man be trying to level up to Derrick Jaxn? Why would you as a man be trying to live up to another man's philosophy on life that's in a woman's mind? Damn that, brother. You should be establishing in a woman's mind what a good man is. You should be establishing in a woman's mind what a valuable man is. But when you don't establish that when you don't establish that standard, then guess what? You behind the 8 ball, man. You hustling backwards, brother. You struggling, you know what I'm saying, playing a game that you don't even know the rules to. But that's what toxic masculinity is here for, to help you brothers understand that the way that you're supposed to be playing the game is only really one way that you're going to be able to win. And the way that you win is you have to establish in a woman's mind what a good man is. You have to establish in a woman's mind, you know what I'm saying, what a valuable man looks like. But if you're allowing another man's perspective, you know what I'm saying, or another man's perception of a good man to and teach your woman or guide your woman, well, then you stuck behind an 8 ball of some other man's philosophy or perspective on life. Now, if I could, I got Captain Kapaj came in here with me, man. What's going on with you, Kapaj?
Hey, Shalom, Madawan. How's it going?
Christ, man. I see you came in the road with me on the toxic masculinity. I appreciate you dropping in, man. What you got to say about this Derrick Jaxn situation?
Khan. What you, Adawan, what you breaking out is so heavy that because, you know, I check out a lot of these, a lot of brothers in the world on YouTube and things like that. And this Derrick Jaxn cat, he is peculiarly disgusting. Like, he's very peculiar, but he is definitely all his thoughts and the way he drops stuff is very disgusting. Is very emasculine. Mm-hmm. You know, the way he drops things and he always tries to. I mean, it's something. It's one thing if you want to, you know, have brothers be accountable and this and that, but it comes to a point where it becomes male bashing, men bashing. He was a vehicle of hatred for black men at a certain point. That's what he became. He did it knowingly, unknowingly, but he became a voice to hate black men, a voice that allowed the hate, gave excuses for the hate. Oh, that's why niggas ain't shit. Because look what Derrick Jaxn said. Mm-hmm. You know, look what he brought out. He said if a man don't do this, you don't know your worth. You should leave him. Mm-hmm. And all these things that were very disgusting, that definitely would break up any household of any woman listen to him. Like, he'd say so many unrealistic things. Mm-hmm. Like, when you're dealing with a relationship, you got to understand that we as black people, mm-hmm. we Israelites, you know, we roll a certain way where we do things a lot of times in a rougher way. We not no storybook, movie, tale, romantic thing, all that bullshit. And he was pushing that. I don't know if you can cuss on your platform.
No,
Is that
you can cuss, keep it raw. But here's what you're saying, Cap. Here's what's important, and what I'm trying to relate to the brothers is that any woman's philosophy is going to come from a man. And we as men have to examine the men who the women are learning from. What Derrick Jaxn was presenting to women was a white man's concept of a good man. It was corporate America's concept of what a good man is. And that, what we have to understand is men like Derrick Jaxn, the reason why their perspective is it's a bashing black men perspective, is that it comes from one of a man who wants to really let a woman rule, wants to really let a woman be in charge. And that portrait, that picture that Derrick Jaxn painted for a lot of black women was so unrealistic, because you can't be half of a man and half of a woman in a relationship. You can't be a man who's, the one who's protecting and leading and securing and making sure a woman is provided for, but also answering to her every second. Also, being so transparent with your life that there is nothing that, separates you from your woman. And a lot of women were getting rid of their men because they couldn't be this fantasy Negro that Derrick Jaxn was portraying, when in reality that Negro doesn't exist, because Derrick Jaxn isn't even that. Derrick Jaxn is the black man who he has been bashing for years. Why? Because it's in his nature. And that portrait that he was painting for women is not in a black man's nature, because it's not the perspective, the perception, or the perspective of the black man. It actually was one that came from white men.
Damn right. Was you bringing out so heavy? And this guy, I want to say this is of the Lord. You know what I mean? But I don't want to put too much on it. But this is definitely poetic justice. It was brothers in the world. His brothers in the world celebrating this. They think this is like a great victory for brothers. But that's how polarizing this figure, this cat was. And the shit that he was spewing, how one-sided it was. You know what I mean? And just like how Officer Tarap would always bring out, we need to get Officer Tarap, or he always drop it heavy also. He would bring out how the Christian pastors would say, if your man ain't working right or working or doing this, feed him beans. And this is what Christian pastors, and this guy kind of gave the same spirit of them Christian pastors. Itching ears, telling women what they want to hear, not telling people what the truth is or what they need to hear. So cats like this, it definitely will, I would say, is a victory for brothers. I didn't like this cat myself. I couldn't listen to half of his shit. If it was more than 5 minutes, I listened to it for a little bit just to catch what he was on, like a year or two ago. But it was so disgusting. It was so bitch made. I ain't even gonna lie. It was so emasculate and effeminate. The brother kind of talked with an effeminate lisp, if you ever noticed too.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
He was effeminate as hell. And I could hardly stand listening to it, because I knew how anti-black man, how destructive it was with the shit he was saying. Like, if you were to really follow this, like you said earlier, how many relationships were broken up for this?
Yeah.
This nigga cheating on his girl and he trying to work it out, but then he done told a million times that if this man cheat on you, don't ever give him another chance. He's over with. He don't see your worth. He don't deserve you. You're too great. You're too this.
Yeah.
Like cats like that, they need to get drugged through the mud.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because he done got rich off of this bullshit.
Yeah.
And it's sad that his wife got to get drugged through the mud too. But hey, it's what's going down.
And if I could, Cap, like I said, the evil of the whole thing was that he's been pushing this fantasy to women that does not exist. That man that he was trying to promote for them the standard that he was trying to establish is one that doesn't even exist, and it didn't even exist inside that nigga's home. But here's what we as men have to understand, is there will always be Derrick Jaxns out there. And if you are not a man who takes the responsibility of leading your woman seriously, then she will be led by Derrick Jaxn. Your home will be broken up. Your relationship will be, corrupted, And you'll be like, well, damn, what went wrong? What happened? She listening to Derrick Jaxn, nigga. Now, why you don't know that she's listening to Derrick Jaxn is because you ain't being the man over your woman. You're not taking the burden of maintaining this relationship seriously, because if you took it seriously, then you would be on your job. You would be knowing who the hell she listening to, what the hell they talking about. Then you would be listening so that you could combat her anytime she come at you with that BS. A lot of times, brothers don't know. You arguing and you fighting with your woman, you're not fighting and arguing with her over anything that she thought up or anything that she has a problem with. A lot of times you arguing and fighting with your woman over Derrick Jaxn. You arguing and fighting with your woman over something that some other man put in her mind. Well, if you don't know that you arguing and fighting with your woman over what Derrick Jaxn said, then brother, you're not on your job in your relationship. You're not taking the business of being a man and leading your woman responsibly serious. And for you brothers that may not be in relationships, when you meet women, you can know by that conversation and the different things they say by asking questions like, well, what do you think? What is a good man to you? Or what are you looking for? You can hear in the things that a woman lays out that she's looking for, who she's being influenced by. Because a lot of the things that women are requesting from men today, it doesn't come naturally. It's not something that they thought of themselves. It's something that society taught them. If we go back to the beginning, we go back to nature, what I'm pushing on toxic masculinity is what the women require of men: leadership, guidance, protection, security, reassurance. I've met many women. I've never met a woman that said that that's what she wanted from a man. And that lets me know that the things that she desires, society has taught her that. Some other man has taught her, get you a man that got money. Get you a man that can pay all the bills. When financial security or paying all the bills does not equal a good relationship. It does not equal happiness. And so we as men have to take on the responsibility of leading our woman, man, and making sure that what we are establishing between ourselves and the women we encounter is what's important and what matters, not what some goofy guy on the internet is saying and filling her head up with. Cap, you had something to add to it?
Con, I want to pull, if I could, pull the scripture. We allowed to pull a scripture or two?
Come on with it.
In 1 Timothy 2:11, 2:12, it says, but I suffer not a woman to teach, nor to usurp authority over the man, but to be in silence. So let's break this down. We got multiple pieces. Mm-hmm. Woman, see, Derrick Jaxn was putting the woman in position of power. That's what he was doing with his teaching. He was putting the woman in position of power, because for some reason in this kingdom, everybody thinks the black woman has so much power and all the power, when in all actuality, the power is not with the black woman. The power is with the black man, Hispanic man, and Native American man. You understand? And it says, for Adam was first formed, then Eve. See, the problem is y'all treating Eve like she was the firstborn son or something. Adam was first formed, then Eve. And it says, and Adam was not deceived, but the woman being deceived was in the transgression. Like brothers got to get their mind back right. Mm-hmm. That, you letting these women make decisions, and you even letting them know, decide who they want to listen to. You shouldn't do that. Mm-hmm. You got to protect your woman's mind. You got to protect her from that whole friend at the job that's telling her all this bad advice, from this whole ass dude on the internet, mm-hmm. saying all this bad advice. Like as a man, brothers, you got to step up in that and guide and protect her mind from these lies. Mm-hmm. Because that's all it is lies. And people, lies is sweet.
And here's the thing. Here's what's heavy about what you brought out, Captain. You pulling that scripture. You know what I'm saying? And it's important that brothers and sisters understand that there's a spiritual component to all of these things that's going on. You know what I'm saying? But particularly dealing with relationships, everything mm-hmm. is spiritual. What you read there, the Most High is establishing that Eve was the one that was deceived. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Eve, it's easy for a woman to be gamed up. It's easy for a woman to be beguiled, or for a woman to be led. You know what I'm saying? And as a man, if you aren't leading your woman the same way that Adam didn't lead Eve in the garden, some other man is going to lead your woman. So if you're a man that believes, well, she got her own mind and she think her own thoughts, Brother, she don't have her own mind. She don't think her own thoughts. She thinks the thoughts that some other man gives her. She thinks the thoughts that some other man puts in her mind. If your woman is not listening to you, if she's not taking heed from you, if she's not structuring her perspective on life and what's good and what's bad and what's healthy and what's unhealthy by what you teach her, then she's learning from some guy on the internet. She's learning from some preacher in the church. She's learning from some comedian, Steve Harvey, who's writing a book that's telling her to act like a woman but think like a man. Your woman does not have her own thoughts, brother. She is going to be led by someone. And if you aren't strong enough to take on the responsibility of leading her, then you're going to deal with the consequences of her being led by Derrick Jaxn. You understand? Which, if I could, Kapaz brings me to the second part I wanted to discuss tonight, which was, so the lesson I want brothers to learn is why here's how we should celebrate the fall of Derrick Jaxn. Don't promote that, yeah, all men lie, all men cheat, because that's not true. All men are not like Derrick Jaxn. Derrick Jaxn is a failure of a man. Derrick Jaxn is a weak-ass brother who could not be man enough to stand up and tell his woman and tell women in general that when you encounter a real man is going to do him. And if you got you a real man, you should do everything in your power to love him and support him and to remain by his side, because there aren't a lot of good men out here. Just like Derrick Jaxn's woman did with him, ladies, you got a man and y'all together and you have invested time and energy into this man. Hey, you may find that he ain't perfect. You may find that he has other women, but don't throw away your relationship. Don't throw away what you've built with that man. You forgive him, try to understand, have a conversation, and try to get to a place where y'all can move beyond the you feeling like you were lied to or you were deceived. But don't give up your relationship for anything or anybody. Ladies, any man out there that's telling you you should leave your man, it's because he wants to take advantage of you. And every instance where a man tells a woman to leave her man, it's because he wants to take advantage of her. Whether it's in church and they want you to leave your man so they can get your tithe money or some other man can have sex with you, or if it's some cat on your job in your ear talking about he don't treat you good enough, he can't love you like I love you, he don't really care about you, woman. He just wants you to have sex with him. You ladies, you got you a man, you chose that man, stay with that man. You know what I'm saying? Through thick and thin, better or for worse, whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? But don't listen to no man that's telling you to leave your man. So fellas, don't be out there celebrating Derrick Jaxn like, yeah, he ain't shit, I ain't shit neither. Don't do that.
Right.
You should say to women, you see, this cat lied and sold y'all a dream. That man that he tried to portray, that man does not exist, man. A lot of us, hey, we gonna have other women. A lot of us, we gonna, hey, we might dibble and dab, but what men should strive to do is be honest in their dealings with women. Strive to be a man that looks in the mirror and is proud and happy with who you are, so that you can go project that out in the world when you go meet women. And as you go meet women, you'll tell them the truth about you and how you feel and how you want to live your life. And hey, either they'll agree with it and they'll deal with you, or they'll disagree. But you'll be able to live your life knowing that you are honest, that you have your integrity, and that you are honorable in how you deal with women. You know what I'm saying? But the danger of men like Derrick Jaxn is they can influence women one way to think about men. But then there's men like this cat, Kevin Samuels, who are on the opposite end of the spectrum, but whose, perspective and philosophy is equally damaging and destructive to the minds and the spirit of the women who we are encountering out here in these streets. Now, if I could, Captain Kapaz, are you familiar with Kevin Samuels?
Yeah, I'm very familiar with that cat.
Okay, so Kevin Samuels, for y'all who might not know, Kevin Samuels is the you're not good, you're average at best guy. He's famous. He had a video went viral, a few months ago where some woman came on there and was talking about how she can't meet good men. She can't meet a six-figure man. She has her own business. She makes six figures. She wants a six-figure man. Kevin Samuels told her flatly, well, lady, you're not good enough for a six-figure man. You're average. Men who make six figures or more, they're above average. And so if you want an above average man, you have to be an above average woman, right? So Kevin Samuels has gained a lot of traction since then. And Kevin Samuels is, the things that he says are delightful to most men's ears. Because Kevin Samuels is masterful at bringing down a woman's self-image. You understand? A lot of the women who now, so Kevin Samuels deals with what he calls high value men, the top 10% of earners when it comes to finances in America. So to Kevin Samuels speaks, he claims to speak for the men who are high value, the men who make more than six figures, the men who are the ballers and shot callers here in America, right? So he speaks to black women about how their idea or their expectations of getting one of these high value men is ridiculous and not realistic. And he has women call into his show so that they can try and see how they measure up to these high value men. Here's the problem. Everything that Kevin Samuels speaks and stands for is degrading to men who are not what he calls high value.
Right.
And really what men understand about Kevin Samuels is Kevin Samuels speaks for men who buy women. For men who buy a woman's affection, men who buy a woman's love, men who buy a woman because she's beautiful and they got money. No real man who knows how to get women can really appreciate anything Kevin Samuels stands for. Because from what Kevin Samuels teaches, if I ain't got the money to pay for your bills and to just pay for everything, I'm not a high value man. When there's a lot of when we as men should not down women for having education. We should not down women for making good money. We should not down women for being, ambitious. However, what women must learn is that your education, your money, it only means so much to a man who knows his worth. You know what I'm saying? Here's what the danger of Kevin Samuels. Kevin Samuels, in telling these women that they aren't nothing and lowering their self-esteem, Kevin Samuels is running the risk of turning a lot of women into whores because they feel like they'll never be good enough for a man to keep.
Salaki.
Go ahead, come on with it.
I was gonna say, shoot, he ain't risking it. He's doing it.
He's doing it, Salaki. He's doing it.
Salaki, I think so.
He's making a lot of women feel like, well, I'll never have a man, so I'll just go be a hoe. I'll have my money, I'll have my education, and I'll give my body to men, but I just won't expect to ever be married or ever have a serious relationship, when that is destruction to black women. But what black women don't understand is that that's the point of what Kevin Samuels teaches. Kevin Samuels' purpose is for a woman to not value herself so that she can just be brought and used as a meat stick. When that's not what a woman's value is. That's not what a woman's worth is. Women are so much more than their vagina. They're so much more than their body, than what, their looks. But men like Kevin Samuels, or who he advocates for, these high value men, they just want to buy women for sex. They'll buy you Birkin bags and they'll take you on trips to wherever you want to go. Just as long as you shut your mouth and get them some sex, they'll buy you whatever you want. But that is not what real men desire from good women. Real men out there, we value a woman who's got education. We value a woman, well, I'll give it to you biblically. We value a virtuous woman. You go to the book of Proverbs, you read Proverbs 31. When it describes a virtuous woman, it describes a woman who has ability. Describes a woman who's educated, describes a woman who's ambitious. It describes a woman who knows how to make some money. And that kind of woman is a great asset to a man who knows what to do with her. The problem is a lot of brothers don't know their value. And because of men like Kevin Samuels, a lot of brothers feel like they don't deserve loyalty and honor and respect from women because, hey man, she make more money than me. Or I'm not that high value man, so I can't really require a lot out of a woman because she make more money than me. When, brother, that's bullshit. Damn what the hell Kevin Samuels is talking about, because the majority of us men, we ain't no tricks, man. A lot of us from the streets, we know a gold digging hoe when we see it, and we don't pay gold digging hoes no attention. Well, you know what's a woman's number one weapon against you thinking she's a gold digging hoe? I got my own money. I pay my own bills. I just need a good man. Well, if you a man out there and you're intimidated by a woman because of how much money she makes, well, then guess what, brother? You might just be a trick. You intimidated by a woman because of how educated she is, guess what, brother? You might just not know how to be a man. I don't care how much money a woman makes. I don't care how much education she has. She needs a man in her life to lead her, to guide her, to protect her, to secure her, and to reassure her. And guess what, brothers? It doesn't take money to do any of those things.
That's right.
So why would you devalue a woman because she makes money? Why would you devalue a woman because she has education? Because you want her to shut up and take your money. But guess what? I don't want a woman to shut up and take my money. I want a woman to bring to the table what she's bringing to the table, so that together, me leading and her following, we can go build something great. We can build something amazing. But a man like Kevin Samuels robbed men and women of their value, robbed them of their self-esteem. And a lot of you brothers, you like Kevin Samuels because he makes you feel better, because he makes women feel like shit. Brother, you should not feel better because a woman is made to feel like shit.
Right.
You should feel better because you are the kind of man that knows that this woman, she's being led improperly. Let me show her what a real man is like. Let me show her what her value is. Let me show her what she's supposed to do with this education, what she's supposed to do with this money, because clearly she don't have a man. She got this education and this money. She doesn't know what to do with it.
I'm right.
Come on, Captain Kapaz.
God, and if I could, this cat, Kevin Samuels, and his mindset and what he teaches, philosophy, is not sustainable. Okay, it's not sustainable at all. I'm gonna tell him why. It's not sustainable because when you build a relationship with a woman that's based off of the love that she has for you because of how much money you have, this is what they're gonna find out in the end. Which what we already know, is that she's dealing with you because she loves the money, not because she loves you. So what's gonna happen over a process of time? You get a chick, she's wild by the money, right? So you get with her, y'all start building your relationship. She's wild by the money. Eventually, what's going to happen with any person is basically like hypergamy, which is not even hypergamy. It's another word where it's like it plateaus. She's going to be in wild by all this money. When she's living that lifestyle for a while, she's not going to be in wild by that money. And what she's going to do is she's going to figure out a way to get that money without you. She's going to figure out a way to get the money without you. And which always going to ends up is she's going to eventually find out when she can divorce you and get so much money. She can get alimony and get so much money. She can do this pressure and get so much money. And then she's going to see the moment's going to click, because at first she was dumb. She ain't have money. Then over time, she's going to click and say, I can get the money, and then I can fuck the dude that I really want to be with, and I'll have the money also. Yeah. And then she's going to leave you, take your money, and she'll be fucking the guy she want to fuck, that she really that she likes, because she don't like you. She like your money. So she gonna separate you from the money.
Here's the thing, Kaposh. Here's the thing, and this is why, again, fellas, you got to know what these niggas is out here teaching, because Kevin Samuels is basically teaching women to go be a prostitute. Find you a trick. Go find a trick. And he's saying to us, now here's what Kevin Samuels is saying. Kevin Samuels has said this. He said high value men are going to have more than one woman, meaning they're going to have their mistresses and their side chicks. But you can have you a side piece too. You can have you a man on the side, or you can, many rich women, they have sex with the gardener, or they have sex with the pool boy. Meaning these cats with this money who buying these beautiful women, they know that there's some cat who she gives sex to for free. But I bought her, so I bought her to be my wife. But I know the cat she really want to have sex with might be the pool boy. The cat she really want to have sex with might be the gardener, and I'll turn the blind eye to that because I get to have sex with my mistress. I get to go get my hotel rendezvous. When what real man think like that?
I see that.
What masculine man thinks it's okay for another man to be hitting his woman behind his back? Which goes to show you men who think like Kevin Samuels, they weak. They tricks. They want women to be subdued because I make more money than you. Hey, I got this money. Where you gonna go without this money, bitch? I'm paying these bills. Where you gonna go without these bills getting paid?
Right.
When if that's how you rule over a woman, you ain't fully a man. I ain't gonna say you're not a man, but if that's how you rule over a woman, well then, brother, your authority over her only goes as long as your dollars.
And if I could, the scripture said, "Don't put your trust in money." You understand? And that's what he's doing. And the thing about him, look where I ain't trying to get too deep into it, but you got to know the culture that he's coming from, that he's talking about. Look where he live. He live in Atlanta, right? Mm-hmm. He's supposedly not from there, but that's where he chose to move to. Mm-hmm. Why a man like that choose to move to Atlanta? Because it's the black mecca of enterprise and money? That's not why a man chooses to move to Atlanta like him. He chooses to move to Atlanta because that's the whole capital. The stripping capital. That whole lust-filled lifestyle is accepted in Atlanta. It ain't accepted everywhere. Yeah. You know what I mean? That type of all my lust because of my money. I'm just I look clean and nice and suited on the outside, but in the back I'm doing nasty, dirty sex with this stripper and this hoe and this call girl and whatever lust I want to do, I'm doing it. I'm sleeping with my buddy's wife. I'm sleeping with this and that. I'm just a disgusting thing, but I got a suit and I look nice. That's accepted in Atlanta. Mm-hmm. That's the culture in Atlanta. Mm-hmm. That's why he moved there. Mm-hmm. That's why he lived there.
And again, that culture comes from our oppressor. That culture comes from white people, man. The culture of women are pieces of meat, that comes from the white man. Because women are not just pieces of meat. Women are not only good for their beauty and for, their vagina. But a man like Kevin Samuels will make you believe that. A man like Kevin Samuels will make you think a woman's worth lies between her legs. It lies in how good she looks. When any real man knows that beauty is only skin deep. Again, right. When it comes to dealing with these relationships, we have to acknowledge the spiritual aspect. You understand? The Most High is dealing with brothers and sisters who are out here trying to find someone to be with for the rest of their lives. Whether you're a man who's polygamous, who have more than one woman, or you're a man who's just looking for one woman, you're looking for somebody to be with forever. The women out there, women are looking for a man that they can dedicate themselves to forever, a man that they can be with for the rest of their lives. You understand? And so where you are in your connection with the Most High and how you live in your life has a lot to do with how your relationship works out. A lot of you don't realize that your relationship is dysfunctional because you're wicked. You're not righteous. You understand? You're not being led by the Most High. You're not living your life properly. You understand? A lot of you women, whether you're in the church or you're in the crystals or astrology, your spirit is not in tune with the Most High, which is why you can't find a man that's in tune with the Most High. A lot of you brothers, you out there, you paying for women to have sex with you, you're getting them high, you understand? You're buying designer clothes to reel them in and wonder why they won't be loyal to you and why you can't hold them down, because you're not being a man. You understand? The only way a man is going to learn how to be a man is if he becomes righteous. The only way a woman is going to learn how to be a woman is if she becomes righteous. But righteousness is not what Kevin Samuels is teaching. Righteousness is not what Derrick Jaxn is teaching. Righteousness is not what you're learning in the church, which is why your relationships don't last and you can't stay together. The only way a man is going to learn how to be a man is if he learns what the Most High said a man is supposed to be. Only way a woman is going to learn how to be a woman and keep a man is if she learns what the Most High said a woman is supposed to be and how a woman is supposed to keep a man. And the only place that I know where brothers and sisters are being taught that, and that is the standard, is in the ISUPK under Commander General Yohana. You understand? Yeah. So toxic masculinity, again, is all about teaching brothers how to acquire the tools of a righteous man. You understand? And the only way you're gonna be able to lead a woman is if you be the man that God said a man is supposed to be. Only way you're gonna keep a woman and have her be with you for life is if you mold her into the woman that you need her to be, and her being the woman she is a reflection of you being a man of God. But without that, I mean, hey, good luck, brother. You want to be 50-50 with your woman. You want to be on an equal playing field. You want to let her go out there and experiment and learn from the world and be well cultured and well versed. No problem. I hear you. I understand. Good luck with that. Good luck when she goes out into the world and finds men like Derrick Jaxn, finds men like Kevin Samuels, and then she comes home and she brings it to you and you ain't got no answers for her. Brothers, you gotta, you know what I'm saying, be diligent, man. Be diligent, be steadfast, you know what I'm saying, be serious about being a man and the work that it takes to be a man, not only so you can be secure in yourself, but that so you can be a man that can secure your woman, secure your family against all that this world has to try and suck them in.
Right.
Captain Kavaz, you had anything you wanted to bring out?
Khan, if I could add on to it, both of them brothers, the Jaxn cat and the Sam cat, both of them are effeminate. If you look at them and peep they how they roll, both of them would be considered effeminate. You understand? With you know, I'm gonna read something on feminine culture, right? This is from a study. A psychological scientist studied cultures, right? And he said, Hofstede says, a feminine culture or feminine society is one where gender roles are more fluid. Both men and women are expected to be nurturing and focused on people and quality of life. It's important to note that Hofstede descriptions of these cultural types are based on gender stereotypes. All right. Both these cats have effeminate ways about them. You know, the cat Sam cat, he's real into like fashion and trying to like, you know, model and stuff like that. He's into all of that, and that's feminine. Now brothers can rock some cold stuff, but when you into it like this guy is, that's feminine. That's why he's so materialistic when his philosophy and how he thinks about things.
If I could just clarify, right? It's Kevin Samuels' desire to be fashionable is feminine because it comes from the Europeans' culture, which is feminine. So it's not just that he like nice clothes and looking good. Hell, I like nice clothes and looking good. But the culture that I come from is a masculine culture. Looking good for a man means I look manly, I look strong, I'm ready for warfare. But the Europeans' culture, a man looking good is a man looking feminine. It's that shaved face. It's that no beard and that suit, that little tiny suit that it fits your shoulders the right way, and you got your cufflinks and all of that gayness. You know what I'm saying? It's a feminine, not because it's feminine for a man to want to look good. It's feminine because the culture that he's being led by is a culture that tells a man he looks good when he looks soft.
Yes, there you go. Which
is why black men who try to fit, you got football players. You know what I'm saying? LeBron James in the playoffs after a game last year had on the goddamn suit shorts. Where the hell LeBron James get the idea to put some suit shorts on? It came from some European white man. Because the European white man says that this 6'9", 285-pound man looks good with his thighs out. That's feminine. You know what I'm saying? Not because LeBron James is feminine, but because the culture that he's operating in is a feminine culture. Kevin Samuels is feminine because Kevin Samuels wants to be like a white man. Kevin Samuels has been in that corporate America and sat in them board meetings, and he's patterned his behavior and his mannerisms after white men who are the most feminine men on the earth. So it goes to the point you're making. He's feminine because his philosophy, his perspective on life comes from the European culture. It comes from the rich white man. And rich white men, they look at women like meat. They look at women like something you just, you have sex with and you have her to wear on your arm, and that's all she good for. Don't need her to have no education. Don't need her to have no money. Just sit home, shut up, and spend my money, and let me go and do the nasty, freaky thing that the man with all the money does. And here's what Kevin Samuels is here's what black women and black men need to understand about the culture that Kevin Samuels is pushing. The rich, powerful men in this world, their money buys them access to whatever they want. And the rich corporate white men that Kevin Samuels has learned from, the sex that they buy is not regular heterosexual man-woman sex. It's all matter of, freak nasty disgustingness that they involve themselves with, but they want that wife at home because it gives them status. They want a woman that looks good that they can buy because it impresses other men. When real men want a woman who can contribute and they can build with. Real men don't desire a woman that they can just throw money at and that she just be quiet. A real man wants a woman who's going to follow him, you know what I'm saying, and going to be what he desires her to be, not because of him throwing money at her, but because of how honorable and how admirable he is in his role as a man in her life.
Am right. And if I could, I don't know how long you be rocking, but say another thing. Like for brothers, you don't want to go down that path, man, because I've been in that situation before. I've been with something that just looks so good on your arm. You just think it's so amazing and this and that. You know what I mean? When the scriptures say beauty is vain.
It's vain as hell, man. Vain as hell.
You know what I mean? In vain means it's worthless, which means the fact that you're trying to impress other men with your woman, you want them to what? Want to have sex with your woman? You want this woman to show that you're better or you're higher class. That's how you show your masculinity through. Oh, your girl looks good, so other men gawk at her. Brother, you don't want to chase your life after that. You know what I mean? Because now you coming around to where you chasing women. Yeah. Where how can I say this? To where your life is so much about trying to impress women that you lose yourself.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? You're gonna lose yourself trying to get this and impress this woman, and that woman's gonna destroy you.
Yeah.
You can't trust in man. And what does that also mean? You can't trust in women. Yeah. So you can't say, I got this money, I got this woman, she's supposed to act a certain way and do this because of this, because of that. You should never trust in no woman. You should trust in the Most High.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And obviously you can teach a woman, she can be down for you and all of that. But the way this brother's going about it is a shallow way to do it, and it's not going to get the results that he think.
For sure. And again, everything you said, Captain Capons, is 1,000% true. And again, it goes back to culture. You understand? If you as a man, your measure of your masculinity is based off of a woman, well then, brother, what is the standard of you being a man? The measure of you being a man should not be, look at how pretty the woman is that I have. Look at how bad the woman is that I have. If anything, the only way a woman can come into play with measuring you as a man is how valuable she is. And that's what the Bible prescribes. The Bible describes a valuable woman not based on her beauty, not based on how she looks, but a woman's value is based on what she brings to the table, what she can contribute and add to that man. A virtuous woman is a woman with ability. You understand? So again, brothers, you have to know who's out here teaching these women, because the men like Derrick Jaxn, the men like Kevin Samuels, they are the ones who are planting in a woman's mind what a good man is. They are the ones that's putting ideas in a woman's mind of what they should do and what they need to be in order to attract a good man. When you meet a woman, you have to know that you are going to have to put into her mind your idea of a good man, the standard that you have of what is a good man. The problem, a lot of you brothers, the reason why you lie to women is because you sell them what they think a good man is, rather than showing them, I'm a good man, here's who I am. And you can only pretend to be what a woman wants you to be for so long until you show your true colors, until you reveal yourself. And a lot of you brothers end up in broken relationships. You end up breaking women's hearts because you meet them and sell them the dream of what you think they want, rather than you saying to yourself, I'm going to go out here and be what women want. When I meet a woman, I don't care what she thinks a good man is. I'm going to teach her that I'm what a good man is. I'm going to show her that I'm what a good man is. I'm going to put into her mind that everything I am is what makes a good man. The only way you can do that, brothers, is if you believe you're a good man. A lot of you fellas, you don't believe you're a good man. Why? Because your standard is measuring up to Derrick Jaxn. Your standard is measuring up to Kevin Samuels. When damn that, I'm not measuring up to Kevin Samuels. I'm not measuring up to Derrick Jaxn. I'm measuring up to the Most High. I'm measuring to the Father who created me, and he gave me a blueprint for what a good man is supposed to be. So I'm going to go out here and be that good man. And the women I meet, I'm going to teach them, nah, sis, this is what a good man is. I'm going to show them this is what a good man is. And how am I going to do that? I'm going to be honest. I'm going to have honor. I'm going to have integrity. And I'm going to present to them that I'm a man who's capable of leadership, guidance, protection, security, and reassurance. You understand? So, brothers, in your celebration of Derrick Jaxn's failure, do not triumph in men being liars and men being cheaters. Instead, say, listen, sis, here's why you should have never listened to Derrick Jaxn. This is what a real man is. This is how a real man operates. This is how a man who embraces masculinity, this is how he deals in women. And you'll show a woman that Derrick Jaxn was a liar. These sisters out here listening to Kevin Samuels, believing that they don't have any value or have any worth, you'll say, listen, I hear what Kevin Samuels was saying about a high-value man, but let me tell you why he's wrong. Here's what a real high-value man is. And here's what a real high-value man, here's how a real high-value man perceives a high-value woman. And you'll go into telling her how the things that she got and what she bringing to the table is high value. Or you'll tell her, listen, you may not be high value yet, but if you follow me, I can elevate you. I can lift you to that place. And then, boom, you'll have your woman that's down with you for life. But brothers, know what these men out here teaching and understand how you're going to have to combat it with in these women's minds in order to get them into the position that you want them to be in. Appreciate y'all for rocking with me, man. Shout out to Captain Kapaj out of Indianapolis. Cap, you had anything else you wanted to say before we get up out of here?
Nah, I'm gonna go ahead and end it there, man. You definitely dropped it heavy. Great topics, man. I love to see the show all the time.
Most High in Christ. I appreciate Captain Kapaj for coming on here with me, rocking it out. You know what I'm saying? Again, every Friday we go live from 9 p.m. 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Normally rock for about 90 minutes, but I had to come to y'all on this Wednesday, man, to talk about the Derrick Jaxn situation, to talk about Kevin Samuels and all of the vitriol that he's spewing on his platform. If I could, man, y'all like and subscribe, share Toxic Masculinity, Captain Soccer War. I'll holler at y'all.
Shalom.